Hi, kids, how are you, Dad? I hope you will be enjoying. Today I brought a new story for you, Dad. Let's see what is new in this story. The Fox and the Missing Chicks by Saida Sabiha. In a peaceful village surrounded by rolling green hills, there was a lovely little farm that everyone admired. The farm belonged to Farmer Bill, a kind man who cared deeply for all his animals. His most cherished possessions were his fluffy yellow chicks who chirped happily in the warm sunlight. Peep, 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 sang the chicks, hopping around the farmyard. They were always full of energy, chasing each other and pecking at little grains scattered on the ground. But in the shadowy forest beyond the farm, trouble was brewing. A sly and cunning fox named Freddie lived there, and he had been watching Farmer Bill's chicks for days. Freddie was not like the other animals in the forest. While most were content to eat berries or nuts, Freddie preferred something fresher, something tastier, and nothing seemed more delicious than Farmer Bill's plump little chicks. One of those chicks would make the perfect meal, Freddie said to himself, licking his lips. As the sun dipped behind the hills and the farm was bathed in the soft glow of twilight, Freddie began to hatch a plan. That night, the moon shone bright, casting silver beams over the farm. Farmer Bill was fast asleep in his cozy cottage, his snores echoing softly through the night. The chicks were huddled together in their wooden coop, nestled in soft hay. Freddie crept out of the forest, his orange fur glowing under the moonlight. The air was still, except for the occasional hoot of an owl. Freddie's paws moved silently across the ground as he approached the coop. Just one little chick, Freddie whispered, peeking through the slats of the coop. With a sly grin, he nudged the door open and slipped inside. The next morning, Farmer Bill strolled to the coop, carrying a bucket of feed. The morning sun painted the sky in shades of pink and gold, and the farm was alive with the sound of clucking chickens and chirping birds. "Good morning, my little chicks," Farmer Bill called out, but as he began to count them, his cheerful expression faded. 1, 2, 3. Wait a second, he muttered. Where's my fourth chick? Farmer Bill looked around, puzzled. The coop door was slightly ajar, and tiny feathers were scattered near the opening. "Oh no," Farmer Bill exclaimed. "Something's taken one of my chicks." He looked toward the forest, his eyes narrowing. It must be that sneaky fox. Farmer Bill decided to keep a closer watch on his farm, but Freddie was not done. That evening, as the sun set behind the hills, painting the sky in fiery orange and purple hues, Freddie waited patiently in the shadows. He knew Farmer Bill was on high alert, but Freddie was clever. When the farm grew quiet, Freddie moved swiftly, avoiding the lantern light from Farmer Bill's window. He found a small hole near the coop door and wriggled through it. "Another snack for me," he chuckled, grabbing another chick. By morning, Farmer Bill was furious. "That fox is making a fool of me," he grumbled. Determined to stop Freddie, he reinforced the coop with sturdy wooden planks and added a heavy lock to the door. "That should keep him out," Farmer Bill said confidently. But Freddie was undeterred. "A lock won't stop me," he said, smirking. That night, under a sky filled with twinkling stars, Freddie gnawed and scratched at the edges of the coop until he found a weak spot. "This is too easy," Freddie whispered, slipping inside once more. The next morning, Farmer Bill found another chick missing. "This fox is too cunning for his own good," he muttered. He decided to call his loyal dog, Max, to guard the coop. Max was a brave and watchful dog with sharp ears and a deep bark that could scare even the boldest of creatures. That night, Max lay near the coop, his ears twitching at every sound. Freddie arrived as usual, but this time, he was greeted by a loud, echoing bark. "Oh," Freddie yelped, running back to the forest with Max hot on his heels. Freddie was clever, but Max was faster. Freddie barely escaped, panting as he reached his den. "This dog is a problem," Freddie muttered, rubbing his sore tail. "I'll have to outsmart him." The next night, Freddie came up with a plan. He disguised himself by rolling in feathers and wrapping himself in an old sack. "Now I look just like a giant chicken," Freddie said, chuckling. Freddie waddled toward the farm, clucking softly. Max was puzzled. What kind of chicken is that? He wondered, sniffing the air. Freddie managed to sneak past Max and enter the coop. But as Freddie reached for a chick, one of the hens let out a loud squawk. Farmer Bill burst out of the house, holding a lantern. "What's going on here?" he shouted. Max barked furiously, and Freddie panicked. In his rush to escape, Freddie tripped over the sack and tumbled out of the coop, feathers flying everywhere. "Freddie the Fox," Farmer Bill exclaimed. "I've caught you at last." Freddie scrambled to his feet and dashed back to the forest, embarrassed and empty-handed. Farmer Bill smiled and patted Max on the head. "Good boy, Max. You're the best guard dog a farmer could ask for." The next morning, Farmer Bill added even more security to the coop. The chicks chirped happily, knowing they were safe. As for Freddie, he decided to stick to berries and nuts for his meals. "Maybe it's time to leave those chicks alone," he sighed. The farm returned to its peaceful rhythm. The golden fields swayed gently in the breeze, and the farmyard echoed with the happy chirps of the chicks and the laughter of Farmer Bill. And so, Freddie learned that cleverness could only get you so far. Sometimes, the best meals are the ones you earn without stealing. The end.